I do for you, officer?
Looking for a pair of earrings. Emily Jane. Last week she was stabbed 8 times.
It's a very nice bracelet you have on.
I feel like something really bad is going to happen.
What about you, little Miss Driver? What are you really about?
Let me ask you something. What's been the worst night of your life?
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
I am doing good. Everybody's here.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
How's Vegas?
Hello.
Weather-wise, it's good. Industry-wise, could be a lot better, but
Yeah.
we're trying.
Yeah. I love Vegas.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm a native.
I got engaged in Vegas.
Did you really?
Yes, in a very classy way, not like a
At the drive, I had a friend got married at the drive-through with Elvis, you know.
Oh, yeah. No, it wasn't that. It was at the Wynn.
Oh, okay. Very classy.
Yeah, over the Lake of Dreams. But
Wow, it's beautiful. Wonderful.
yeah, it was nice.
Well, thank you both for joining me today to talk about Fox Hunt Drive. Drew, Allison's a down on her luck young professional, spends her evenings trying to make ends meet as a rideshare driver. Timely though, because attacks and assaults on drivers are on the rise.
Unfortunately, yeah. It's we every time that we hear one of those stories, we end up sharing it on a text message thread with each other, and it's just one of those things where it was so enjoyable for us to find a story that we felt like was plausible, but not really something that was happening, and so it's like really set it in that world of fiction. And so it's as much as we love our film and as much as we want everyone to see it and enjoy it, it is slightly disheartening when we do see that there are people who are actually having these sorts of things happen to them. It's just not okay.
And Lizzie, Allison lost her job, dating her boss too. She's a nosy driver, isn't she?
Say a nosy driver. I feel like she tries to keep her nose out of other people's business as much as she can, like in the first opening 10 minutes of the film. But with certain passengers who join her, I mean, that there's definitely more to be discovered in that relationship. So we definitely go down the rabbit hole with that one.
And Drew, how did you treat your actors? Did they spend so much time in the car? So did they rebel at sometimes, or just it feels like they never got out of the car?
We did only, like, we had a 3 or 4 week shooting schedule. We actually only did 5 days in the car. So we did a lot of work in a very short period of time. But it did get quite tight in there at times. And even Lizzie and Michael and our crew just did a wonderful job of making it work, for the space that we had. It's very impressive to see the shots that they were able to get.
Yeah. And by the time we got out of the car the next week, I almost forgot what it was to act like with my full body and have legs again. But yeah.
Your co-star, Lizzie, Michael Ovison, he's just a plain old thief, isn't he?
I feel like I can't say that much.
No, that's true. You're right. You're right. Well, I'm just saying he begins.
He's a shady character.
Shady character.
Let's say that.
Yes, let's say that right now. Shady character. But again, I keep going back to Allison sticking her nose. I know she's in danger, but I just like half the stuff I thought if she'd just listen to the guy, she'd be out of his hair. But
right.
We wouldn't have a movie if she did, right?
Well, I think for both characters, both Allison and the passenger who gets into her car, what I love about this film and what made me want to work on it is that you feel a certain way about the characters, let's say in the first, 30 minutes of the film, but ultimately there is so much more to them as people and the intricacies of what they actually want in life and in this one night that the end of the film ends up in a very different place than it began. So I love for the script how much there is to learn about both of them and how much they learn about each other.
And when I say nosy, I mean in the most respectful kind of way, because a lot of characters in this movie stick their nose where they shouldn't. I mean, the convenience store guy, can I help you? I was like, it's like, mind your own. I mean, there's so many people in this movie. I'm like, just mind your own business, pal. What are you doing?
I know. Stop asking questions.
There's so much like love hate for Colin, the convenience store clerk. It's amazing. People have such strong reactions to him.
And Drew, tell me about the challenges of shooting at night for a motion picture, because I bet it's not. It has to be just a real challenge.
It was challenging. Thankfully, Lizzie, Michael were able to keep me, very well attuned to the nighttime schedule. We all ended up on our days off calling each other and finding out where we're all hanging out so that we could keep each other on that awful sleep during the day and work all night long schedule. But it challenges. I mean, we'd face everything from crew members who were exhausted to, lighting challenges to, just trying to keep momentum going when you got to those early hours of the morning. And I think that through all of it, the crew was so passionate about making this movie. Our director of photography, Anthony, was so wonderful with the way that he was able to shoot it and light it and everything that, and obviously Lizzie and Michael and the whole cast were just such team players in order to keep that schedule going. It was a difficult experience, but it was a great experience.
Yeah. And Lizzie, I read online, there was a lot of stories from the set about you clashing with one of your actors. Very temperamental, I hear. Kathy, the alligator.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I read all those gossip columns and I just heard you and Kathy just clash.
Kathy the Gator and we have a love-hate relationship. It was very exciting the night that she was going to come to set. It was like a celebrity was there. She had her own area with her 3 handlers. Three.
What a diva, Drew.
Yeah, no. She was a 6-foot alligator. And Drew has the best picture of me when he actually came into the room onto the set for the first time. I mean, I am just like this. My feet are up on the couch, but I can say I can check it off my list. I acted with a gator.
That's cool.
And that was pretty
awesome. I wasn't expecting that, and I thought that was pretty kind of adds to her crazy night of her ride through the night. So it's pretty crazy.
We wanted to add those little elements that really spoke to Florida in the film, right? So it's like, anywhere that we kind of find a location, we try and say, like if we were shooting in Vegas, right? Like obviously there are the casinos there, but there's so much more to the city. And so it's like those little things that you want to explore that are really kind of culturally a part of people's lives in these certain areas. And having the gator in the film was quite a challenge, but it was definitely important to us to explore that side of Florida.
Well, Drew, this is your first feature. So I always ask first-time directors, what was the first shot on the first day and the last shot on the last day of the production?
The last shot on the last day of production was the one that we just talked about, which is the last shot of the whole film. And then the first shot on the first day of production was just some B-roll, of the car. Like we were still getting our rhythm, and everything. And we had the whole crew there. And Lizzie, I think, was in hair and makeup and wardrobe, getting ready for the first day of shooting. And the crew was just setting up it was super boring. It was just setting up the camera, shooting the lights, turning on and off on the car.
And yet the first day was so simple compared to everything else we did. But I had so much nervous energy that I was like, I've got to get this shot of me grabbing this, I've got to get it right. Because, Drew and I had never worked together before. But I would say very, very quickly by day 2, we had developed great rapport. We developed shorthand very quickly. And then on that second day was the day we started transitioning into the night shoots. So that last shot, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything about that last shot.
Lizzie. No. I have to tell you my favorite shot in the movie. And I don't know if it's just for some reason I just love it. She was going through the car wash and the blood in the soap suds going down the drain. I just love that shot. For some reason, very good, Drew.
I love that you love that shot. That was something that I was like, we have to have this. And like we didn't have time to get it, but we just like, we threw some dye in the soap suds anyway and tried to get it. And it looks like in the original footage, it looks pink. It doesn't look like blood. And so it just took hours of work color correcting it to make it actually come off the way that it made you love it. So that's great.
And not only that, one of my favorite classical pieces is Rite of Spring by Stravinsky. And I remember seeing it as a kid in Fantasia. But when I went to film school here at UNLV, I produced a short film where I did it's almost like a silent film. It was only the soundtrack of Rite of Spring. It was about a homeless guy downtown in Las Vegas, just a typical night for him. And all the actions were, if you just listen to the music, whatever the music whatever comes to your mind is what I wrote for him to act out, like a gang fight he witnessed, you see, it just, so when you mentioned Rite of Spring, it's been years since I've heard that piece of music. And I just kind of adds to the craziness of Fox Hunt Drive.
That's a great story. I would love to watch that. Is that online?
No, it's not. So
you got to put it online.
I think it's lost to the ages, because I went to film school, back in the 90s, so I don't know where a lot of my stuff is as you move.
It sounds like a great concept, but it's wonderful when people, the Rite of Spring, I think it's obviously a popular piece, but it's something that I think that it can be lost to history, especially with all the new music and all the film. We're just inundated with media these days. And so to find people who connect with those things in that way is really special. And I think the writers did a great job of adding these little pieces in for people to pick up along the way.
Well, congratulations on your feature. It was really thrilling. Lizzie, congratulations too. I appreciate you guys' time today. Good luck with the film, and come visit us in Las Vegas, man. We'd love to have you.
Thank you, Jeff. We'll be there.
Well, you stay safe. We'll talk again soon.
All right.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
Take care.
Bye.